You know how as a late recognized autistic person, you think back on your life and you're like, oh, that was some autistic shit. You realize you've misunderstood something or been taken advantage of, or that somebody didn't really like you, that you thought liked you. There was a lot of people that I thought liked me but were actually bullying me with a smile on their face. There was a lot of people who did not want to be my friend anymore and were trying to be mean to me to break up with me, and I literally did not pick up on it, and I kept being nice to them, and so we ended up in a friendship or a relationship simply because they would not directly break up with me. They would not directly tell me, and I just wasn't picking it up. I was like, oh, they're a little mean today. Everybody's bad sometimes. And they need to think of themselves as a good person, which is why they wouldn't directly break up with me. So my continuing niceness guilted them into being nice to me again. That never meant that they liked me or that we were friends to begin with or that we made up and were friends again. One of the things that I've been realizing about friendship that's a little ouchy today is about social media. I'm realizing all these times now where people hurt my feelings or cross my boundaries, and then they sent me all these positive signals on the internet that made me keep them in my life a lot longer than I would have. Or they also use social media to love bomb me in the beginning of a relationship and get me feeling like, oh my God, this person is so proud of me. They're so amazing. They hype me up all the time. Like, they really understand me and they're so cool and so interested in me. Interested in manipulating me. And that was one of the ways that they got their hooks in. I was very naive about social media, even though I was in my 30s when I got on it for the first time, when I got Instagram and Facebook. I skipped the whole MySpace era. I was doing other things in real life, like making pottery and tap dancing and sewing clothing, and I was not sitting in front of a computer. I was a late convert to smartphones because I don't like change and transition because I'm autistic. I thought that social media was kind of like an online diary or a communication space where you shared your life with your friends and family who were distant, your real experiences, and this is how you shared news and information with people, your children, your stuff, your food, everything about you, put it out on the internet, recording it for later when you can look back and you can remember your life. I thought that it was this very friendly place. But social media is actually a curated space where people control the narrative about themselves, and there's all these social subtleties related to hierarchy that I did not intuitively pick up on. And I didn't realize that people were trying to look a certain way, so that if you tag them in a photograph that you took of them just being themselves and they didn't look that particular curated way, that they were going to be angry and upset about that. I thought that people would be angry or upset if I left them out of my social media. I always made sure to include photographs of everyone in my life. Apparently they did not like that. Social media became even more curated around the time that I joined it. It was the blog era, and everyone was really trying to create a personal brand. Normal, regular people were not using their own photography. They were using professional photography. They had logos, like people who did not have businesses really were branding themselves. Social media became something that was really about getting a job or getting a boyfriend or projecting a certain image that people would hire you for or pay you for. So some of my friends who were trying to look sexy were selling images of themselves looking even sexier in other spaces, and they really needed to curate their image because they sell it as a product. There was so much that I didn't understand, and I thought that we were just going to genuinely share about our lives. So when I saw someone else sharing, I thought I was looking at their genuine life. got manipulated with social media. A friend would treat me mean in real life. They would cross a boundary, disappoint me, cancel something, flake, borrow money or tools, or use me for childcare, and it wouldn't feel right. And then this person would post about me on social media. They would put a picture of us together or a project we were working on, or maybe they would share one of my pages and try to like promote me and be my hype woman and give me a shout out and tell me how awesome I was. I felt like that meant that they were my friend again. What I realize now is that they were manipulating me, that they knew that they had triggered my fawn response, that they had crossed the line, they knew they had used me, and they were now going to use social media for cognitive dissonance so that I was confused and thrown off, giving me a different signal online than the one that they were giving me in real life. And as y'all know, green stop signs are really hard for me to read. Thought social media was real, that it was a recording of what you're really doing and thinking. So I took those posts, those hype posts, as being very genuine and loving, and I didn't realize that it was manipulation. A manipulation that they could then use to abuse me later by withdrawing that social media attention and affection. Another thing manipulators would do is follow me on all the social media platforms, and in the beginning, in the love bombing phase, they would like absolutely everything and share all my stuff and make all these comments and just have such a big social media crush on me and hype me up so much online. And then they would disappear. And then they'd come back and they'd be so hype again. And then they would kind of like taper off. And then they'd come back and taper off. And that happens, right? That happens naturally. But it can be manipulative. It can be a person giving you intermittent rewards and then depriving you of those rewards. It can be somebody trying to get you hooked on them, particularly a dopamine deficient person like me. My brain and body really reacts to social media. This is making me realize and recognize that I should not ever be jealous or envious of the friendships that I see people showing off online. That might be a victim and a bully has their arm around them with a big old smile on their face. That might be a sign that someone in that picture is about to be manipulated or dumped or ghosted. Just because it looks like these people are besties for life doesn't mean they are. Something really sick might be going on, and one or the both of them is manipulating each other.